Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. I hope you're having a good one because I am excited to be back. I know it's been a little bit since the last episode. I apologize. I got really into Software Inc. and then I got really into YouTuber's Life too, and it's been one of those weeks. It's been one of those weeks where every game that I'm playing I'm having a lot of fun with, and then I forgot that I haven't played Transport Fever 2 in a little bit, but here we are. We're back. We're gonna start making some money, we're gonna start having a good time, and we're gonna see what we can do because, I mean, it's 1934. We are on the cusp of coming into the modern era. We're gonna start getting some cool planes, we're gonna start getting better trucks. It's a matter of time until those things start coming around. So I guess what I wanna do is start today by just taking a look at a few of our lines and seeing if we can optimize them a little bit, because I did notice that up here by Yonkers we are seeing a decent amount of grain sitting around here, and if I go and take a look, the rate on the Wichita food production line is currently 115, and then if we look at the Salinas grain to Yonkers, it's 182. So I mean, really what I'm thinking here is we simply go to this line, we go to manage vehicles, and I go and grab, say, 5 of them, duplicate, and we'll duplicate again. And then if I look at that line, it's now up to 184. So this can now move just a little bit more grain per year than the trains are able to bring in, which is honestly okay by me. A little difference of 2 units per year is not really the end of the world. We're gonna be able to move just a bit more grain, and that's kind of what we're looking for. And then if we look at Wichita Falls, I mean, it's growing pretty well. I've got to be honest, 552 people here. We have some towers popping up. We have a lot of the public transport getting used. We have the airports getting a little bit of love up here, so not going to complain about that. Can't really be bad to it. And then looking down into Philadelphia, we have a bunch of people wanting to get the train to, for the Lafayette to Fargo line, which is fantastic news. We actually have a good number of people still wanting to fly up to Wichita as well, which I'm kind of here for. And then looking down towards Gilbert's, which I'm pretty sure is, right down here, we actually don't have that many people waiting around, which is a little bit frustrating, but I am curious. This plane has like 1 person on board. Interesting. We might want to look into swapping out some of the planes on those lines, because I get the feeling they're probably not anywhere near as busy as they once were. Gilbert, I could swear, had more residents than 346 at one point, but I'm not really going to stress too much about it. I just want to make sure that I'm not overdoing it with the planes. And I mean, if I look at my line manager, if I look at my lines statistics right about here, we can go ahead and bring this out, sort by balance, and where are the planes? Philly to Wichita is not really making money. Let's see, where is the... Oh, Philly to Gilbert is, hold on, let me pause the game here so I can actually see this line. Philly to Gilbert's right here, 1.1 million. So it is actually making money, which is kind of surprising. And then the Philly goods to Burbank and Gilbert line is losing minus $6 million, which is pretty considerable. Detroit to Madison food and brick delivery is losing about $3 million. Laredo slag to brick is losing $2.5 million. The Philly to Glendale, I'm assuming, it's been a minute, I don't remember the exact name. That line for passengers is losing money as well. And that's kind of depressing. I was hoping that we would maybe have some of these lines. I'm honestly most concerned about losing $6.7 million right here. What is this line even doing? This is the... Hold on a minute. Why has this line got a lot of meat on it? Oh boy, is it supposed to? That's my question. I'm now wondering if that line is... So hold on, Philly to goods to Burbank and Gilbert. Why does this line have a bunch of meat on board? That's hold on, I need to look at this. I need to look at this line and see what it's doing. So where are we? So it comes down here, which is fine. Hold on a minute. What have we got? We have a lot of meat just sitting around. Where's this meat? Is that supposed to be here? It is supposed to be here. So it is picking up a bunch of... Okay, so it's taking the meat back to Philadelphia, I'm assuming. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. That makes sense. Now, another little something that I want to do is I want to go in here and get myself another one of these trains right here for the plastic and steel to goods line. So if we go in, we can, I guess, duplicate that for train 45, and that's going to move more steel and more plastic up to Yonkers to be turned into goods, which can then be brought down, dropped off here, and taken down to Philadelphia, which is obviously kind of the priority here. So if we can do that, that'll be great. It'd be kind of fantastic, especially if we could balance things a little bit more, because there is a tremendous amount of plastic just sitting around, but I feel like a lot of it's being lost because this platform is just full of steel. So maybe what we should do, actually, is go ahead and change out how this works right here. We want a full, let's see, minimum stop time here is going to be like 30 seconds so it can get out of here. And now this is interesting. We got the Douglas DC-3. We got a new train right there. We got new trucks. We got a Streamlined coach, New Mexico. Ooh. Okay. I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of thinking I want to look at the Douglas DC-3. Let's head down to Philadelphia and see what we can do with the good old Douglas DC-3 right there. So the Gilbert line is actually making money. So let's manage the vehicles here. And I guess we'll go ahead and replace like one of them with the Douglas. So we got the Douglas DC-3. What are we using right now? We're using this thing, the Junkers, which is 124 miles per hour. Has a capacity of 10 in 2 compartments. And then the Douglas is passengers only, but it is faster. You know what? Let's go and select all of them, replace them all with the Douglas. And then I guess we'll go to the Wichita line. We'll manage the vehicles, select all of them, replace with the Douglas. And there we go. That looks beautiful. It looks so good. I've said it before. I will say it again. I said it about the trains. I've said it about the planes. This chrome aesthetic needs to come back. I don't care the reasons that we don't do this anymore. It's beautiful. I love it, and I want to see more of it. I really cannot express how much I love the chrome aesthetic on planes, on trains. It's so good. Now, what I want to look at next is this line here. Now, this line is actually, it is making money, 4.7 million. It's these fancy trains here, so I'm actually not going to touch that one. The Philly to Glendale line is not making money. So let's go and manage the vehicles and see what this new train is all about. So this is a steam train. It can do 99 miles per hour, which is pretty good. I'm going to be honest, that's pretty good. We have this diesel thing, which I'm not going to bother with. I think what I'm going to do, actually, is select all of these, and yeah, I guess we're gonna go in and try and replace, I suppose, all of these. So let me take out all of the wagons. They all have a capacity of 114 right now, so we'll see how that plays out. So all the wagons go away, and then for this guy, what would it look like in, let's start with a white. It looks kind of weird. Let's go with like a nice sort of dark red. I think that's going to look kind of cool. So we'll go ahead and put one of these guys on each of the trains. And then for the wagons, we have the Streamlined coach, New Mexico. It has a capacity of 18, which is actually down. Interesting. It is slower and has a lower capacity than the heavyweight parlor. And I think the heavyweight parlor is what we've been using thus far, but this thing is kind of more modern, so I'm kind of here for it. And if I add this thing, it is mostly, oh, it is that chrome, isn't it? Let's go ahead and add this up to a capacity of 126, 144. No, 126 is what we're going to go for. This might be a bit longer, and I'm pretty sure it is a bit longer than the previous trains, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see what it looks like. $87 million is a lot of money. But I'm here for it. I want to see I want to see what they look like. I'm very, very curious. And there's one right there. And yeah, we've got that chrome aesthetic going on again. We have this thing at the front, which is a pretty... I was about to say it's a pretty weird looking train, but actually, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's pretty mean looking. I really, really like that. So hopefully people are going to be excited to use that train because it was $84 million to upgrade them. I'll be slightly annoyed if they don't want to use them, but I'll also not be particularly surprised because it's me and it's Transport Fever 2, and that would be my luck. So let's go ahead and take a moment and come back up here towards good old Yonkers because I'm curious about something. I want to go to this line right here. I want to manage these vehicles and I want to replace them with the new cargo trucks, at least if that's a thing I can do. Because at the minute we're using the Ford Model 77 tarpaulin truck. When we do have access to the Opel Blitz tarpaulin truck, which can carry 12 units of cargo, it can do 37 miles per hour, which is 12 miles per hour faster and 4 more cargo. Whereas if I went with this, it's faster with, oh, that's a lot of cargo. Let's just replace these guys with the Opel Blitz tarpaulin truck, because that is a serious amount of cargo. And then if we go and look at that line, its rate is now 262. So what that says to me is that this guy needs another train. So let's pin this, manage the vehicles, and I wonder if I could get away. I think we will just go for another train, which is bringing us up to 227. Man, I wonder if I should go for another train or if I should just extend them. Let me go ahead and manage this for a second. It's already 210 meters. Let's go for another one, which brings us up to 284. So that should now provide enough grain, I think. So we're bringing that grain from Salinas down here, I'm pretty sure. So this guy is... I'm going to need you to be a little bit more efficient, actually. So manage these vehicles, go and replace all of them with... They're just moving grain. So let's replace them with those guys, which brings our rate up to 373, which is kind of fantastic. Although, what can you do? You can only produce 300. So really, I don't need as many trucks on this line as I have right now. So if I go into manage vehicles, well, I need to pin the line first, don't I? So pin you. Really, I can get rid of, say, those two. And that's going to bring us down to 303, which is about perfect. So we're going to be moving about as much grain as we can possibly produce from this farm. We're going to be dumping it into this station, moving almost all of it up to Yonkers, and then I guess moving all of it into Wichita Falls, and that's going to help Wichita Falls grow quite nicely, which is nice. That's a good thing. That's kind of what we want to do. As for the rest of Wichita Falls, I mean... I feel like we should get it bricks, I feel like we should get it goods, and I feel like we should get it machines, because let's be honest, we are making all of those things, and if we go and look at Detroit, for example, there's quite a few bricks just sitting around. Now, a lot of those are for this line right here, the Philly Tools and Fuel to Detroit line, which I need to look at this and see what it's about. We're dropping the bricks off in Philadelphia. I feel like we're not, though. I've got to be honest. Actually, we are. We're just not moving that many of them. Which is fair enough. I feel like that line just needs to be more efficient. We just need better trains. But what I could do, potentially, is pick up some of those bricks and move them to Wichita Falls. Or at the very least, I could drop them off in Yonkers and truck them to Wichita Falls. I feel like doing this simply because it's growing, right? 558 residents, and that's only with food deliveries. If we could get bricks, I feel like Wichita Falls might grow massively, which would be really cool. And then obviously goods and machines are an added bonus, which again, we can do because, I mean, goods production is just down here. It's really not that far away. In fact, technically, it's right here. So if I wanted to, I could take goods from here into Wichita Falls, which I might have to do. And then the machines are as simple as moving them by plane from here up to a new terminal in Wichita Falls. So really what I'm getting at is I think I'd be an idiot to not take advantage of the fact that I can do all of that. I really think I'd be an idiot to not do that. We might have to look into it. Although I'm also curious to see how this thing's production's going. I feel like it's not getting a good enough shipment, so can I go in real quick, manage these vehicles, and replace them? I think these are all flatbeds, right? Yeah, with side stakes. So let's replace them, I guess, with the tarpaulin truck. That seems like the way to go. And then manage these vehicles and replace them with the tarpaulin truck. And now we should be able to move just a bit more stuff, a little bit more quickly, which is what we're looking for. And then down this way, I'm essentially going to need to do the same thing. So this line is moving, I guess, coal. So manage vehicles and replace those with the dump truck. Seems like a pretty good bet. So we'll do that. The iron ore, similar story. Go and replace those with the Opel Blitz dump truck right there. And now that should be set up to move a whole bunch of that stuff. And then down this way, it's going to be a very, very simple little setup. We're going to go in and manage these guys. And we want to go for, I guess, the tarpaulin truck. And on the planks line, we want to go to manage vehicles, replace with the tarpaulin truck. So that should now be all of that sorted. We have all of the upgraded trucks around here, so that should move more stuff. And I guess we'll just look into moving machines and goods and bricks up to Wichita Falls. It just seems like it makes sense, unless I can make bricks closer to Wichita Falls. That would be a nice option as well. And looking at it, we actually potentially do have that option. If I can bring some slag up here, or some sand, we can do that. And I guess, I mean, we happen to have a decent amount of slag just sitting over here. So something tells me we should set up a train to bring slag from here in Laredo over to potentially here. Although I could just bring a line out to, I guess, Phoenix, right? So straight out of the construction plant, and then maybe just truck it back to Wichita Falls. That seems like it would be a good idea. But let's start a little bit smaller. Let's start with the goods line, because that is going to be a little bit easier. So what we'll do is configure this guy with a bunch more platforms. And just like that, we have a line set up. So all we need to do is say that in Yonkers East, this line is going to be loading up on goods, which are right there. And at Birch Street in Wichita Falls, you are unloading the goods right there. Now we just need vehicles. So we'll head into Wichita Falls. I think this is our road depot. And we'll just grab ourselves, I guess, we'll get a couple of tarpaulin trucks. We'll go for like 3 of them. Nothing too crazy. Make them blue. And then road cargo, we're looking for Wichita goods delivery right there. Now, I don't necessarily know how many of these boxes of goods that might come out of this factory will actually get dropped off into Wichita Falls, but I'm curious, at the very least. I'm definitely curious to see how that goes. I'm a little nervous, perhaps, is definitely one word I'll use to describe how I'm feeling right now, because I don't want to take away from my other line, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, I suppose. We'll see if it ends up working out for us or not. I imagine it will. I think it might just take a minute for the factory. There we go. It's already realized. Goods delivery to Wichita Falls. So that's one of the bonus things that Wichita wants. As for the machines, I mean, that's going to be relatively easy. I just need to go to the airport, need to configure it. I need to get myself a cargo terminal, and the cargo terminal can sort of go anywhere. So I'll just put it down there. We don't need another hangar. We probably don't need another passenger terminal either. I'll be totally honest. So we'll just do the cargo terminal right there. And then all I need to do is go and set up a new line from here in Wichita Falls, going all the way down to my other airport here by Norwalk. So this probably could use a second terminal, but for now I'm going to use the same one. And we'll have this be AC for air cargo and it is Wichita, I guess, machines delivery. And that's fair enough. I think that's a fine way to look at it. We'll make it the same blue that we have used for Wichita thus far. And you know what? I am going to configure this, and I am going to give it another cargo terminal, because what I can do is move this guy to... Ooh, I don't think I can move this guy to terminal. That's another hangar I've just placed, isn't it? That was not a terminal at all. Refund that. Give me the cargo terminal, which is this guy right here. And we'll do a couple of them just because I think we might need them at some points. And now what we can do is the Wichita one goes to Terminal 2. And that keeps us fine. That separates the planes quite nicely. And now all we need to do is go to the overview, look at this line, and manage it so that in Wichita, all we're doing is unloading machines. And in Norwalk, all we're doing is loading up on machines. And at this stage, we just happen to need some planes. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves, I suppose the junkers will do. We'll go for like 2 of them for now. We'll not go too crazy on it. Make them that lovely blue color. And air cargo, Wichita machines delivery is what we're looking for. So they can head out. They'll take the machines up to Wichita Falls. And all I need to do is make sure that the machines get from the airport to the people that want them. And those people happen to be right here in the heart of Wichita Falls. So let's go for a stop right about there. And let's get ourselves a little cargo station. I guess right opposite the cargo plane terminal. Almost a train terminal. It's definitely not a train. And there we go. We have 2 trucks heading out. They're going to head in here, and that is going to be our Wichita machines delivery from the airport down to this little truck stop right here. So we have machines and goods going into Wichita Falls. The only thing we need at this point is to get bricks going in there, and that's where the interesting question comes up. Are we going to bring slag from Laredo over to Phoenix and then truck the bricks back to Wichita Falls, or do we want to grab a bunch of the excess bricks that are just sitting in Detroit, and then I guess we could just punch a train straight through to Wichita Falls, or we just drop them off here? I mean, it is kind of an option, right? We just drop them off here and have them go into that depot, and we truck them over to Wichita Falls. It's definitely a possibility. It's definitely something we could do. I'm just not sure what the right answer would be, because that is a train that is going to run empty the entire way back until we figure out something else to put on it. Which I guess could potentially be goods. Although goods have to go in boxcars. So unless we limit the number of bricks, you know what? Let's just go kind of crazy with it. Let's just have a little bit of fun with it, and let's just see what happens. So we're going to come down here. We're going to start in Detroit, and we are going to go all the way up to good old Yonkers. And hopefully we can go back. Hopefully we can do this properly. It looks like we totally can. Though what I will do in Yonkers is give it access to the other terminal as well, because we might as well. And in Detroit, I don't know if I can give it access to another terminal or not, but we'll do it anyway. And essentially, we'll paint this thing blue. It is going to be good old train cargo, and it is going to be a Wichita line. And we'll just call it, I guess, brick delivery, right? So train cargo, Wichita, brick delivery, plain and simple. And I probably want to configure that now that I think about it. We want to make sure that in Detroit, all we're doing is loading up on construction materials. In Yonkers, all we're doing is unloading construction materials. And then I'm also going to need trucks that can bring the construction materials. So we're going to need another line, which means we're going to need more drop-off points. So unload, stop. We actually have a lot of people that happen to want bricks. So I wonder, can I get away with this? Like if I put if I go to that truck stop, and that truck stop, I wonder if I can get like a little loop going on. Let's find out. So we'll go over here. We'll go to new line. We'll start here. We're going to go from Yonkers into, oh boy, This is a bit of a mess to look at. But we'll go, I guess, here. We'll go, I want to say here. And I'm not sure where else to go. I guess we'll go like here. And that can sort of be our series of drop-offs for bricks, right? So this is going to be road cargo, Wichita, and it's very simply brick delivery. And then what I can do with it is go in, we want to configure it. So in Yonkers, all we're doing is, again, loading up on bricks, and then these are a bunch of drop-off points. So it should kind of split the resources between all the different stops, and then we should have a good distribution of bricks. So what we'll do is get our hands on another couple of trucks, and in this case, it is going to be tarpaulins. We'll go for like 3 of them for now. We'll paint them blue and put them on the Wichita, where is it, road cargo brick delivery right there. Although thinking about it, I have done a little something around some of the towns, in that what I've done is, let's see if I can find the Wichita lines, sort by line name real quick, and we'll pin this as well. What I've done, so for brick delivery, for example, I might make the trucks sort of a brick red, just so they're a little different. For food production, for example, we'll make the trucks maybe sort of a yellowy, we'll go for like maybe a green color on these guys, since it's food production. For goods delivery, we'll go for maybe sort of a, I don't know, some kind of tan-ish color for the boxes. And then for the machines, we'll go for like a silvery gray. And that way we can look at each truck and kind of have an idea of what they're moving around. So that's good. We have everything we need except for a train that can take the bricks from Detroit up to Wichita Falls. So, well, Yonkers. So what we'll do is very simply get ourselves a nice train. And in this case, I'm kind of thinking we'll go for this guy. And we'll go for, it's moving bricks. So we'll go for, if we go for red, it's the same as what it was before. Let's go for something like a light blue and see what that looks like. Looks a bit weird. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like the light blue. But I guess this kind of looks okay. That nice white with sort of the gray. We have the flat cars behind. This is a 205-meter long train, by the way, which should now be well on its way to Yonkers, and then will eventually make its way back to Detroit to hopefully pick up a bunch of bricks. Although there are none currently waiting to go to Wichita. But that's fine. In theory, it should pick up, and in theory, we should start seeing things coming in here. We have got machines coming in, we have got goods coming in, and we are sort of seeing some growth. The population has definitely dropped a little bit here, but it should climb again, I think. The good news, at the very least, is that there is a number of machines waiting to head up to Wichita, so we have that going for us. And I suppose while we're waiting for everything to kick in, why aren't you guys all sort of clumped together? Oh, they're all stuck behind a car. That makes sense. I suppose while we're waiting for all that to kick in, we could start looking at a little something that I've been talking about, which is the fact that we could potentially go ahead and get fuel for Evansville here if we can bring some oil sand to this little refinery here. And there's an oil sand mine right there. And then also the sand that we would get from this could potentially go into some brick production over here. So let's go ahead and just set up a little something because Evansville wants fuel, Fullerton wants fuel, and Norwalk wants fuel as well. So we actually have a pretty good setup there for some pretty good money. And it's just sitting on the table. So very, very quickly, we'll go for a truck station. We'll go ahead and make it a little bit longer. And I'm not going to go too crazy customizing this. I'm just going to slap it right about there. And that should be perfect. So that's going to be where we pick up the oil sand. Then for down here, we'll go ahead and just throw a truck station. I want to say right about here should be just fine. And then all we need to do really is drop this stuff off in Evansville. So for every 2 oil sand, we will produce 1 fuel and 1 sand. So we can have a truck come down here, drop off 4 oil sand, pick up 2 fuel, and drop that in Evansville on the way back, which I'm kind of here for. I think we'll keep things relatively simple to start with, and we'll just drop the fuel off sort of there on the way back through. So let's go ahead and set up a new line from here, going to there, going to there, and then we'll just go ahead and call it road cargo. It is Evans, V-I-L-L-E, Evansville, and I suppose we'll just call it fuel production and delivery, right? Since that's essentially what it is. So fuel production and delivery for Evansville. We'll make it, what color do we want to go for on this one? I'm kind of thinking, let's go for like this sort of pink right here. That sort of salmony pink color. And now that we have some trucks heading out of here, we have some oil sand getting produced already, so that's going to be kind of fantastic. We probably could start looking at moving some of the sand over to the brick production, which wouldn't be a bad thing. We could probably start using those bricks for Amarillo, for example. And good lord, we have a lot of bricks waiting around. Do we have any? We do have some waiting for Wichita. Fantastic. Okay. That's very exciting. That's very exciting. I'm kind of looking forward to it. We have so many resources just sitting around right now. It's kind of ridiculous. But we do have this. We do have this going on. And I'm going to be honest, it's very, very tempting to try and make this all just flow a little bit quicker. Let's see what we can do. We got a medium country road right here. Let's do a little something like this. Let's do a little something like this. Since this wasn't connected anyway, we can connect it up like this. And I guess we'll just upgrade the roads a little bit, and that's gonna let the trucks just move that little bit faster, which I think is gonna be kind of important. We do want them moving kind of quickly. And then we want them coming down here as well. So a little something like that should help the trucks out, and it looks like it very much is helping the trucks out. Now for you, let me just manage this line and say you can go to either platform, and you can go to either platform there as well. Just so they don't quite get, you know, stuck. Although looking at this, I think we're gonna need more trucks. So manage vehicles, duplicate all of them, and I think we're gonna have a proper little moneymaker down here. Oh, now this is kind of interesting. There's 72 machines waiting to go to Wichita right now, which is kind of silly. So let's go ahead and manage vehicles, duplicate both of them. We'll go for 4 aircraft here, and that should hopefully help us out a little bit and hopefully help out Wichita, which is absolutely what we're looking for. And then looking over towards Philadelphia, how are we doing here? It annoys me that it's not doing well. It annoys me that it doesn't grow. Although I did, admittedly, I did see a comment. I don't remember what episode it was, but there was a comment that mentioned that it's possible that the reason that the Philadelphia roads aren't growing is because these might all be considered player-owned roads, which, I mean, regulate automatic changes, they don't seem to be player-owned. They were placed by me, but they don't seem to be my roads. So I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on with Philadelphia or why it's not really growing, but it just isn't. Which kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world, I suppose. What I am curious about, though, is where this guy is. So this train right here is, oh, it's on its way back. I'm really excited about this one. I'm really, really excited to see this guy actually do some stuff here and move a whole bunch of bricks. Oh, now this is very interesting right here. This Ontario iron ore mine is producing 600 units per year, but my current rate on this line is 652. So we actually need to go in and get rid of, let's say, 2 vehicles to bring this down to 608, which is fine by me. It's still a little bit over, but it's not quite as drastically over. And the same thing's actually happening here, 600, whereas this guy is currently 509. Oh, Okay, maybe this one's actually okay. I'm actually gonna have to get more vehicles for this one, so let me just duplicate 2 of them and bring that up to 561, which I guess is fair enough. I guess that's kind of the way we're gonna do that. So that'll let us move a little bit more coal. And then looking down here, this guy is producing as much as he possibly can. In terms of the steel production, we could move more, but I don't think we're producing enough to warrant trying to move anymore, so we'll not really bother with that. But what I am curious about is whether or not, yeah, I think these guys have been set up. Yeah, they've been set up to use pretty much every platform, so there shouldn't really be any major tailbacks right there, which is good. That's kind of what we're looking for. And then looking up towards Wichita Falls, which for whatever reason, for better or worse, has become my new baby. It has actually dropped in residents. It also hasn't had bricks yet, which makes sense because I don't think the train has actually picked up anything yet. Unless I might be wrong, which I'm open to being. No, it hasn't picked up a damn thing because it is stuck outside of Philadelphia. Much like pretty much every other train right now is very much stuck outside of Philadelphia. Oh dear. Why? Man, this train has been sat here for a hot minute. We might actually have to look into a Philadelphia bypass for all of these trains. And I'm thinking what we do is we come back to like here and we have the train sort of come out and down around the bottom of Philadelphia so they can just completely skip it out and skip out all of these intersections. That might cause a bit of a tailback on this side at some point, but I'm kind of willing to give that a shot. I'm kind of willing to give it a go because I just think that's kind of where we've gotten to here, to be totally honest. So let's do it. Let's stop talking about it. Let's just get it done. So we'll do high-speed track since I think that's probably fair enough. And we'll just come straight off like this, I suppose. So we'll start with a little something. It doesn't really need to run alongside the other tracks, but we'll do that for now just to keep it nice and neat. And then we'll do this. And then what we can do is set the parallel tracks to be on, and all I need to do is essentially go in this sort of direction, which is going to really nicely skirt alongside this other track right here. Which I do kind of want to do. I think skirting that track for a second there is going to be kind of cool. But I'm not going to, hug it much longer than I need to. But my entire idea is that we can have this section of track that comes along here and then potentially does sort of run alongside the existing track for a moment. Although it does have to slow down quite a bit to do that, which I don't love. Although I guess it's going to have to slow down. No, it does have to slow down a lot less if I don't go too crazy and having this run alongside. So if I put it there, for example, it doesn't really have to slow down, which I think is kind of important. So we'll do that. We obviously don't have the parallel section because it went through a road. So we'll bring this along to here. And now I need to take it sort of down through all of these existing tracks, which is slightly terrifying. Let me get rid of this signal for a second. And I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this, actually. Because it's going to be kind of messy and kind of weird that the tracks do go up against each other like this. But I'm curious to see if I can go straight through here, which I actually can do. And I can go straight through there as well, which is kind of what I'm looking for. So I wonder, can I bring this back to about there? And that is slower than I want it to be, but that's okay. And then can I just cut straight through here? And I absolutely can. I absolutely can do that. Which is good, because that's going to skirt around Philadelphia exactly the way I want it to. So we'll do a nice sort of... Can I hug a road? I think I can. Ooh, we might hug a road here. Let's give that a shot and see if we can get away with hugging the road. because that would look really cool. And there we go. We have this train line that effectively bypasses Philadelphia, which is potentially going to be a thing. I don't know if this is going to be a good thing, but it's potentially going to be a good thing, I guess. Not 100% sure if that's accurate, but we'll find out. I am going to get rid of this little signal here, though, because I don't think we need it. We are probably going to need some kind of signal. Well, we have one there already, so that's going to do. So this little intersection's fine. We'll go for a signal here, here, and a signal here, so trains aren't being too crazy with all of this. A signal here is going to allow for some weird overlap, though, which I do want to try and avoid. And then a signal here is going to be a bit of a problem as well. So we'll see how that plays out. And then for all of this, what we'll do is go for a signal here, here, and right about there. And that'll let the new trains come out and behave and play nicely. And then all the way back here, what we're going to do, I guess we put a signal. I'm going to say here. I'm going to say here. And I think that's about all we need to do, really. I think. I might be being a bit of an idiot here, but I'm pretty confident in saying that is about, well, it's not quite all we need to do, but that should be fine. The only thing we need to do at this stage is essentially auto signal the entire way along here. So we'll do 250 meters between the signals, and we'll go from about here, and that'll carry the entire way along, which is fantastic and what we're looking for. So a signal right there is pretty good. And then what we'll do is just auto signal in the opposite direction, and that gives us a bunch of signals the entire way along. This whole bit's already kind of set up. Sort of set up. And now I think we're good. I think that line is pretty much good to go. I'm not too sure that any trains are necessarily going to use it right away, because I'm pretty sure all the trains that could potentially use it are already in positions where they're kind of stuck, essentially. But that's fine. I'm not really too upset about that. Although, looking at this, I kind of have an idea for how I could make this neater, and I do sort of want to do that. So just very quickly, I'm gonna be a little bit annoying, and I'm gonna take out quite a few sections of track here, because I've had an idea for how this could look better. This gap between the lines back here is really bothering me. But also, I'm realizing that what I could do is bring this all closer together and actually have it look really cool if there's like a bunch of trains moving at once. So what we do is just have this hug the sort of bulb that we have going on, have it sort of hug the line the entire way down here, and essentially just have it hug everything right up to about there. And that is, I think, gonna look really cool when we have trains sort of using this to, you know, bypass Philadelphia. I think that looks great. So let's go back to signals, auto signal, and we'll go for about here. That'll auto signal the entire way along, which is great news. And then what we'll do is, I guess, auto signal the entire way back. And I think we are pretty much good. Maybe you have to auto signal right about there as well. I think we're pretty much good. So we'll see how it goes. I just need to see a train using it to know that it wasn't a complete waste of money. Oh, so it turns out this train was actually stuck because it was trying to cross over. It was trying to do this, essentially, to cross over to a side of the track it doesn't need to be on, and then it wanted to cross back over. Essentially, this entire tailback was because of an error on my part, and the reason we're losing so much money is also because of an error on my part. It's a little bit awkward. It turns out that the Meat Food Philly line, when it's not running, in fact, when all of these lines are not running and are horribly tailed back, we start losing money fast. It's actually kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit scary losing, you know, minus nearly $100 million. But in theory, we should start picking up a little bit and we should be okay. I still haven't seen a train use my my bypass here though, which is a little concerning. I'll be honest with you. It's a little bit concerning, but I'm hoping, I'm hopeful. I'm pretty sure we'll see someone come down here eventually. We do still have trains waiting to get into Philadelphia, but for the most part, everything seems to have sort of figured itself out, and the trains are now moving. It's just a matter of dealing with the tailback, really. We're still very, very much dealing with just a major tailback right now, which is not good, but it'll hopefully figure itself out. God, I hope it figures itself out, because if it doesn't, I really am screwed. I'm not making enough money to deal with that. Although this is what we've been waiting to see, 180 bricks ready to go to Wichita. And I'm pretty sure that might actually be the first train to use the bypass, because the train has no reason to go through Philadelphia. And it turns out it is. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That absolutely should solve so many of our issues, because now we have a way for the trains to just completely avoid Philadelphia, not get tailed back whatsoever. I mean, it's limited to 50 miles an hour because the wagons can't go any faster than that, but this is exactly what I wanted to say. It's absolutely perfect. And I want to see it running alongside other trains as well. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This massive section of track right here, the trains all heading in different directions. So good. It is so good. I do want to see how much money this is going to make as well when it gets to Wichita. And so the grand total we're looking at for 180 bricks is going to be $13 million. $13 million is not bad at all. I'm actually quite pleased with that. I'll absolutely take $13 million for a quick train run up to Wichita. The issue at the moment, I guess, is the fact that we have so many trains trying to use this section of track that even with the bypass, which is getting used, we had this guy just using the bypass, there's still a tailback. It's still kind of crazy. There is still very much a tailback going in and out of Philadelphia right now. I think I may have screwed things up quite a bit by not catching the little error in my setup a little bit sooner. Now, I do imagine the trains will figure themselves out. I don't think this is going to be a permanent thing, but at the minute, we're definitely up a certain creek without a paddle, I think, and I don't know that I love that. Although apparently we are right on the edge of making money. Based on the earnings down here, bottom left, we're close. We're getting there. I think we'll be okay. It's just a matter of, well, it's just a matter of waiting, I suppose. Which, I'm not the most patient person in the world, but that's a lot of bricks waiting to go to Wichita as well. Oh my God. What have I done? What have I done? What am I doing? I've got all these bricks waiting around here as well. Can I, hold on, let's pin this. Let's manage vehicles. What are you guys doing? You guys are moving the bricks. So let's replace these with the tarpaulin trucks. And the stone brick one will replace you guys with the dump trucks, because you guys are just moving stone. So we'll go ahead and do that. And that should keep you guys kind of busy, right? Like if I go to you and I say manage that line and go to either one of those, that'll probably help them pick up a lot of bricks, I would imagine. So these trucks have been upgraded, and I've also expanded this terminal so that the trucks have a bunch of options for where they can go. So we should now see more brick production. This guy's fully upgraded as well, which is kind of nuts. But we should see a bunch more bricks coming down to Detroit. It does seem like the trains they're slowly filtering their way through, so that problem is becoming less and less of a problem. I am still considerably in the negative in terms of my money, and I'm quite concerned about potentially running out of money. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I'm a little worried about that. I will, however, repay my loan, because my loan interest right now is, it's $100,000, but you know, we might as well repay this because I haven't done it. We've been doing this for a while and I haven't repaid that loan. And I guess we should probably also build a headquarters somewhere. I feel like we haven't done this yet. So let's go ahead and build a headquarters over in Philadelphia is where we're going to do it. And you know, I like this spot right about here. I think this spot's pretty great. So headquarters lives right there. And that's where we run the company out of. It's a pretty nice looking building, to be honest. Oh, it even has my name on it. Oh, that's really cool. That's actually really, really cool. I didn't know that.